a Ghanani, me a Ghanani, me a Ghanani. Homie, I'm from Ghana, Ghanani, me a Ghanani, me a Ghanani. Oh, 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 Ghanani, me a Ghanani, me a Ghanani. Homie, I'm from Ghana, Ghanani, me a Ghanani, me a Ghanani. Oh, 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 me a Ghanani, me a Bibini, me a Chimney, me Sasu ya Jumtini, me a Ghanani, I Yatini Wofi, me a Ghanani, I can't the pouch. I'm a Ghanaian and I'm so proud of the red, gold, black and green. Me a Ghanani, I'm a support to Black Star. Me a Ghanani, me support to democracy. Me a Ghanani, me support to Asunji. Me a Ghanani, me support to Christianity. Me a Ghanani, I'm a Ghanani fufu. Me a Ghanani, the type of tools I feel to your boy. The shower Yankee, na me chiawa. Now see I will hold to in your bibini and wow, sem. Me fan ho. I'm proud of Ghana. Me a Ghanani, me a Ghanani, me a Ghanani. Homie, I'm from Ghana, Ghanani. Me a Ghanani, me a Ghanani. Oh, 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 Ghanani. Me a Ghanani, me a Ghanani. Homie, I'm from Ghana, Ghanani. Me a Ghanani, me a Ghanani. Oh, 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 oh. Ghana, my happy home.
Yeah. Send a great shout outs to all my GM fans and to all my uptown boys like Town. Okay. Bachelor on the street like Kel. We got a rich flow for the Ghanaian. If it gets rich, I'll make it count.
Dr. Jatin Dakwa explained in detail the concept development towards the Heag village.
The concept where somebody leaves a certain geographical area and for whatever reason, and the reasons could be many and could be very diverse, seek medical treatment elsewhere. So it obviously consists of all the complexity of a treatment, or to find a very simple way to it, a delivery system. Many call it clinic, hospital, wherever, but there is a delivery system where people come in, a provider and a recipient of care come in, and there are many other people and other specialties that facilitate this patient-physician relationship. Now, this would also have a component of teaching, training, and schooling.
Okay, some of my questions have been answered, though, in your the first question I was going to ask was whether this thing has been done elsewhere. Since you rightly answered the question, very well finished. Done elsewhere, that means it's successful. So that means you really know what you are doing. Joseph said it looks marginal, but it's a reality. Because on the presentation, somebody could say, is this thing feasible or something? I think talk more and sense, but since you yourself have asked your own question, you've answered your own questions already in your presentation, so I think we just have to give our back and our presence to it to make sure that this idea and this project becomes a reality. Conclude, I just need to ask one or two questions. Initially, when the other group came the last time, I got to know that an outsize amount of land size, and the figure they mentioned was very huge. My understanding, if you can touch on that a little bit, and if also all the towns are going to be part of that community that you are talking about, or it's going to be a separate community that we are building. And you can touch on that slide so that we can be a little bit clear.
You're talking of a huge land surface. Now, the medical center would be about 41,000 square feet. Now, this is going to be, they are going to be phased. And this is going to be, the center itself is going to be several centers of excellence that pays attention to, and you spoke about some of this morning, that pays attention to acute care. Acute care probably can be looked at as an event that occurs where you have minutes to few hours to do something, and oftentimes you have to do something radical, you have to do something innovative, and it will require certain amount of technology and skill to save a life. A study of the healthcare system here, for lack of a better term, creates a gap between the care, the excellent care that is given in many areas here, and the care that a patient like that would need. So that would be the initial concern. So this hospital will be centers that focuses on such acute cases. So you would have a neuroscience unit which will deal with neurosurgical intensive care unit. It will deal with child and mother care extreme cases, trauma, surgical subspecialties, and all of them. So it is a center that specializes in that, and it will require a lot of space for the medical itself, and then extra space to support this subacute care. Now comes the phase of training. So there are conferences and training schools. The hope is that over the course of this period of time, when this has evolved fully, at least 1,000 skilled healthcare professionals and allied healthcare, that is, people who support the doctors and nurses in their work, would be trained and giving part of the community, giving them a reason to own part of what is going on, so they will stay in the community and deliver care. So in doing that, you are also broadening the community, the size, and the ability to habitate in the community for them to stay. Plus, additionally, the 10 to 20,000 people who want a place to stay, call it home when they're retiring, to plug on it. So you're going to have a fairly large size of community that would continue to grow and grow. What will make this community very successful is that people who are targeting to live in the community will come along with them certain key profit centers that they themselves have reasons for it to succeed. Now, these people coming in need medical life, need things that are revolving around care. And so if they have that, and they have other supporting institutions, other services that continue to grow, you would have a growing community. So it's not going to be limited by any means to numbers or something, but the potential to grow those communities. Now, the second part of your question was if the people will be displaced, if they would, it is, no one gets displaced. Everyone gets to gain something, to win something. The educational training will pay attention to the immediate locality. When hopefully we move this forward and things lined up, there will be a special phase, the feasibility phase, that would come in, look at all the things that would make this a mutually beneficial venture for everyone in terms of investment, in terms of the gains that comes in all of that. So no one gets displaced either physically by space or by economic gains. Everybody gets to gain, and everybody gets to plug in this type of situation.
It was a fruitful interaction between the Heag management team, the King, the DCE, and everyone around.
So that means, in effect, it's going to be a special community that people who are living in a community are the same, who are taking good care of themselves.
It's only such an approach where the medical center and its profit center and support system closely exist together with the community. When the community, if you look at all the successful centers and every medical facility you have, that medical facility is the community and the community is the medical facility. If you disjoin the two, oftentimes you lose sustainability in one way or the other. Either the buildings would be there and the management and the efficiency would fall off, or there would be an efficiently run small hospital with a distant community around it. The two have to live together and have to be co-joined in the benefits and gains. Initially, I think we would ask that if this is something that catches the good ear, is there even the intent that we would be receiving this manner? So a simple letter of intent saying, well, I think we've heard what you're saying. I think we are a non-binding written letter of intent to say that, yeah, we have what you think you're talking about. We would have the intention to move this forward. And again, in a non-binding document, to spell out some of the little terms. It could be as general as anything. So we take a look and say, great, we have landed in the right direction. Let's take this and move on. Then we will take this and bring it to the gentleman who holds the money bag and say, come along, take a look at this. We're getting somewhere. The interesting thing is also that was it 3 days ago, 2 days ago, yeah, we presented this to the Vice President. We had discussions with him. The initial impression is that yes, we can take a look at this, go do a little bit of extra work and come back is what the impression we had. So that was a small traction in the right direction as well. So like we said earlier on, it's a process that it looks complicated, and yes it is, but there are some intermediary steps in between, and we are navigating and making very good progress as we go along.
I would want us to have a map of Akwamu land indicating the various towns, so that on the map you will also indicate which area you want to do this, and then how it's going to affect the existing towns and villages already. Trying to find.
So in the very first phase, if let's say everything takes off from here, there is a very first phase that is tagged to last about 6 to 8 months. That is the phase of feasibility study. So we plan to have a local group of experts together with the investors sending their own experts and work within a budget to study all of this, that is the feasibility studies. This is what we're looking at, which are the exact locations, how can we mutually create an economic system that defines the goals that we want without causing a lot of problems for those who are already in and around. And it's obvious that in that process, the community here will be closely integrated to it, connected to that. The general terms that I spoke about earlier on would be a very good roadmap to begin to look at some of those things. So at that phase, the specifics, the people who know how would get together with the people who live, people who matters, who make this successful to get through that phase. And I think before that phase, we might have executed a series of contractual agreement and everything that comes with it. So right away, it became a partnership discussion in that feasibility studies.
Forgive me, Nana, I want to quickly make an addition to this particular one. The first point of interest that actually piqued our concern of participating area is one place. We're looking at the split, of course, the land size between Jekiti and Ajina. This is just, and of course, Edumasatu. This is way too preliminary. The point we raised in that is, at least we'll be rest assured that there is some land space there possibly to be used, so that we do not get to hit a wall when the space discussion is raised in this particular case. But we also know that you understand, you know, and you appreciate the dynamics in this area more than us. So we're also hugely open to the suggestions that you're likely to make in this area, so that even though from our best eye view, that's a possible place of engagement, your impact will make it more reasonable, because we cannot presume to understand and know better than you your own land. So that's an area we're looking at. That's an area that we see the possibility of this happening. But of course, it's in your hands. And we are looking at the possibility of working with you on how to streamline that engagement so that yours become a more instructive point. We will provide the people who are in the position to do feasibility studies and advice on that. But ultimately, it is your go-ahead that is the biggest need on the ground now. So that's what we're looking at currently.
I think, like you said, where we've gotten to now, I see you having a document. I don't know whether it's the business plan or whatever. So I would like to at least read something and be educating myself on it as time goes on. But like you rightfully said, this thing looks imaginary, but it's feasible. So it's been done somewhere. So we welcome it. And you
with emphasis on the care that is missing here. So it's immediately useful. So you position yourself in the center to run. That is just the first phase. After you have done wonderful studies and have all the plans, so you get that piece going. As it's going, you plug in the teaching component of it. So students come in, you exchange physicians, you exchange workers, there is learning going on, it grows. Wow. Then you move on next. It's grown, people are coming from outside, the tourism component comes into it. There is a hotel and a special working management group that receives patients that are coming from different areas. Then you have a community going, you have plugged them into the other components that will make them deliver excellent care at a cost-effective manner. That is, to us, what access means. It's no good to have all these beautiful things together and nobody can access it. But because of our unique location and what we have done and know how to do, we know we can create that. We can create a highly specialized care which is affordable to many. And then you plug into the community who would like to live it. These things have to be created as one goes along. And so it's a process. It's not, and I think what they built over there just grew and continue to grow and continue to be very successful and just in that manner. So it's a process that, and when you have complex process like that and you look them into stages, it suddenly becomes easy. As you get into one stage, you create the goals to launch on to the next stage. When you attain that goals, it becomes a hallmark that the next phase is ripe to be plugged in, and in that manner.
On the nail, so I think I have gotten the picture, and I understand where you're coming from, so what you're saying. Listen, it's going to need a lot of energy and commitment to build this thing. And I think we have to start from somewhere to get to where we want to go to. So thank you for coming by. I mean, we'll start studying this thing, probably maybe working with the DC together. We know how to invite all unknown together and bring them on this, so that everybody will give their back into this project. I'm happy you are not starting this project anywhere in Ghana, but here in the first, and we'll make sure we work with you. Yes. Right, thank you.
We appreciate your initial support. It's difficult to reach others, but you've opened your doors to us in a much more appreciable way that you'll be very thankful for. So we will enlist the help of the District Chief Executive to thank you for hosting us today, and we hope to come back with all of the requirements that are actually needed in this case so that we can kickstart early enough and get somewhere that's more fruitful. So, the Honorable, our regards to you.
Mama ye fedi akuye ni odo efasumi ye many. Now many ye yakasara japadea. Yana no di abebre seje to omaye. Enti asemena use yasungane ye. Anya sabe dachi chiriba beba be muyenfo. Minia susu breve baby. Apwa Ghana. Na Ghana be yo.